morning. Today we will start our program again with another C1 lesson. Today's lesson will be about migration. Before we give the definition for migration, I just want to mention the article. So this is what we will be covering today. Cuckoo completes epic 12,000 kilometer migration. So we will be talking about the journey of this specific bird. So let's talk about migration. It's basically either the process of animals traveling to a different place. So when the seasons change or they are out of food in that specific area, so they migrate to another place. It could also be for breeding reasons, so that's why they migrate. Or people also migrating to different countries, so changing the place they're living, we can also give that migration. So how does it really work? Migration is basically depending on the seasonal changes, so either the weather or the feeding patterns. Also it could be about breeding, so which is what we mentioned before. Eruptive migration don't seem to follow any pattern at all. And nomadic species move from place to place whenever they have exhausted the food supply in one area. So it doesn't depend on a specific time. Whenever they feel the need because they are running out of food in that specific area, they just migrate to the other area. It's not about the time or any other factor other than just survival instinct. This is what's driving them to go from one area to another in the search for food. Now, human impact on migration value. So animal migration patterns are changing as humans alter the landscape. So this is something that we are affecting, we're having an effect on the environment. Basically, changing the landscape, more urbanization is affecting the way animals migrate, the road they take. So it all has side effects. And land use change and climate change are affecting both animals and plants' movement patterns. Again, weather conditions are also affecting it. Weather conditions would mean at this time there is food at this place or not. So everything is changing for these animals, and scientists are constantly following up with these specific things. Migrating animals are an essential component in our diverse ecosystem. So when these animals are migrating, they're leaving a footprint by throwing whatever they're eating in specific places, which creates diversity in our ecosystem, which is something that we definitely want. They either provide food or regulate the number of a specific species in the ecosystem. So when they arrive to a new area, they will serve either as a food for a higher animal in the food chain, or they will be lessening the number of a specific animal in that specific area, which keeps our ecosystem equal, which is the aim we're looking for. Now here we will be discussing there are these specific things like bird, opera, apple, which is, we're talking about the company here. So why are some people obsessed with it? And what is your opinion on each of these things? Where do you stand? Maybe after you do some research on why are people obsessed with these, you will tell me what's your opinion about that as well. I'll give you a few seconds just to look at it. Take notes, we will continue in our live lesson. Okay, so we will start with our article now. You will have 2 minutes in each part to look at it, try to understand the vocab. If not, look at it online. Also, after reading the article, we will discuss the vocab ourselves. So in case you don't understand something online or you don't know it through the text, I'll be explaining some of the vocab later. This is the second part. You have again another 2 minutes. Okay, now here we have some vocabulary I thought you might have had some problems while reading. For example, breeding. In the text we saw it as it has arrived at its breeding ground in Mongolia. So breeding actually means like reproduction, so basically having babies. Tagged, they tagged 5 different cuckoos in Mongolia with microchips. So you know what a microchip is? It's basically to be able to follow. It's like what you have in the car and or in your phone GPS system. So they put a microchip on someone so they know where it's going. This could be like marked, tagged, or marked. Venture, a joint venture between the Wildlife Science and Conservation Center. So it's a business project. You can say a deal sometimes, depending on the context. Facilitated, it was facilitated by the group Birding Beijing. So help make something easy or easier. Aid. Border, it's what you have between countries when you're trying to cross to a country. You know, there's a line that separates them if you think about the map, hypothetically. Navigation. Remarkable navigation and endurance. This is what we've seen in the test. And the process or activity of finding where you are and planning and following a route. So map reading, it's basically Google Maps. And we use it for navigation system, either where we're going or what you're trying to do. Endurance. So remarkable navigation and endurance again. The fact or power of keeping going in a painful or difficult situation without giving up. So imagine being held down by something, but you endure it and you keep pushing yourself to achieve it. So it's the ability to do something. Here we have some vocab that like you might have had problems with, but here it's your time to like find what could these be. You can either define it through the text or find it online and define it. It's always good like to find synonyms for these vocab. Okay, now we will start with some questions, and here I'll give you a few seconds to try to answer it before I give the answer. For example, what was the cuckoo named after? It was in the first part of the article. And it was named after a Mongolian river. How many countries did the cuckoo fly over? 16 countries. what kind of venture did the article say this project was? Remember, a venture means a deal between two things, so what do we call that between two or three or more? Something that they come together on, a joint venture. And what was a special blog set up for? You know what blog is, what could be the blog about? We read about people that are very interested in birds or bird lovers. Now, some of our discussion questions. So, what do you think about migration? We will speak about this in our next class. So, both animal and like human migration, what are your like thoughts and like about this specific topic? Would you rather visit Mongolia or Zambia? Like to find more about these two countries, so do some research, check out what they have, like some touristic places, or like what is special about each of these, and tell me next class. And would you like to go on a 26,000 kilometer journey? So this question is basically asking about a long journey. Would you like to be on one? What could be some of the advantages or disadvantages? Because like after you think about this for a bit, you will be writing a paper about it. So everyone should go on a 26,000 kilometer journey once in their life. Discuss. Are you with this or against it? So you will let me know during next class, and you will submit your writings also during next class. Now we will be giving like a very short 4 to 5 minute break, and then we will continue with our listening class. Thank you for listening.